Good afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Our 41st edition will be live from the original podcast room of the Black and Gold Paraphernalia. On today's show, the Pittsburgh Steelers use a second half of dominating football, all three phases. And Mike Tomlin has a new formula. Let Russ cook after the week of major second guessing, benching his then quarterback one, Justin Fields. Steelers 37, Jets 15, hashtag here we go. I'll have a list of 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers nominees for next year's Hall of Fame. Will they be adding the 32nd bust in the Hall of Fame for a Pittsburgh Steeler? Well, Hines Ward is on that list. Please get this Steeler icon with that smile on his face on a bust in the NFL Hall of Fame. Pitt ranked 19th and Penn State ranked 3rd in the NCAA college football polls after Week 9. Had their buys, but get back with important ACC and Big Ten matchups. The West Virginia Mountaineers get beat at home again, and it wasn't close again. Kansas State makes it another ranked team that West Virginia doesn't beat. Mountaineer football is slowly fading away in 2024. Pittsburgh Penguins' last win produced more great milestones for our future Hall of Famers. Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin then head out on a Western Canada road trip and do not come close to winning. Do we have a goalie problem? We will find out. Let's go, Pens. The winning Paul Skeens piece of memorabilia has arrived. I will share it with you. Its beauty. And now let's hope he wins the Rookie of the Year and its value goes as high as he throws his fastball. Hashtag raise it. Let's go Pirate. I will start the show right off with our tremendous sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on another planet. Seal the Deal Wax Seal Wax Stamps. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. And IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The reason why we are doing the Yinzer Report. Steel City, Pittsburgh, please come join me on my 41st episode, 20th live on StreamYard. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps. for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And check out our sponsors that just went by the boards there. That's Planet Jerky, premium beef jerky, the best jerky on the planet, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals with Cecilia B. If you have any upcoming weddings or graduations, school just started, but it's coming up. She has some great seals to check out. We'll make a nice decoration for your envelopes and your invitations, and check it out. She does a great job with that. And of course, IE Sports Radio, the reason why we are on the air. And there's the shirt up in the back there, the IE Sports Radio shirt. Get some nice merch, nice shirts. Get a sweatshirt for the winter, and check everything out. All right, so let's get into the Pittsburgh scene here in sports. And football has really picked up here. The Steelers played Sunday night, and they played the Jets, and they beat the Jets 37-15. So we went into the week with Mike Tomlin. He was trying to find out who his number one quarterback was going to be for the game Sunday. And he said, like I said last week on the show, he said he was going to roll the ball out in practice to see who was going to be the number one. As you could see last week in the game Sunday against the Raiders, Justin Fields was playing. He was the starting quarterback, but Russell Wilson had the helmet on his side. He had it on a couple of times. And I believe in that game, Mike Tomlin was just waiting for the chance to pull Justin Fields to put Russell Wilson in. So he goes through the week, and he has the practices with the Steelers and the quarterbacks. And he says that he will announce a quarterback in his press conferences during the week. He will announce a quarterback just before game time come Sunday. Comes out Friday that he tells the reporters again there in Pittsburgh he was going to make his announcement before game time Sunday. But there was a leak out Friday afternoon from one of the players, George Pickens. He was asked if he had any idea who the quarterback would be, and he turned around and he said that he was practicing with Russell Wilson all week, and the chemistry was really getting good and being well. So he kind of leaked out who was going to be the quarterback right there. But then Sunday came, and it was reported on one of the football networks that Mike Tomlin became the Lone Ranger in Pittsburgh there, and he said that he was starting Russell Wilson amongst a lot of the players, coaches, and obviously outsiders with Steeler recognition, like Ben Roethlisberger and Terry Bradshaw, even Bill Belichick, saying that he was making the wrong decision. But hey, Mike Tomlin, like I said, I had that rant 2 weeks ago, and ever since that rant, the Steelers have put up 32 points and 37 points on the board. One game was with Justin Fields, and Sunday was with Russell Wilson. And if you're a Steelers fan like me, you could see the difference in the quarterbacks in the two games, and basically what Justin Fields was doing with his legs and controlling the ball, not turning it over, and doing everything he was asked to do. This is in no way Justin Fields' fault, being that he got benched for Russell Wilson. But you guys have to listen to me. This was Mike Tomlin's deal from the beginning of the season. He never anointed anybody the number one quarterback. He always said that there would be a pole position for the quarterback. And it was just the fact that Russell Wilson had that calf injury at the beginning of the year that actually the Steelers caused by having him pull a sled the day before training camp started. In what they do in training camp, they have types of conditioning and things to see that the players are up to par for training camp coming up. And that was one of the things Justin Fields had to do. And he did that, and he strained his calf, and the calf just lingered through camp. He did start a preseason game, as we saw, and he played very well. And then he started this week after he ramped himself up to get himself into shape. But like I said, getting back to the Lone Ranger, he was Mike Tomlin was the only guy in-house that wanted Russell Wilson to start this game Sunday versus the Jets. And he went again, he went along his line. He's the coach. He makes the decision. And like I said, there was outsiders who were saying the decision was wrong. But let's get to the game and let's see what happened. So Russell Wilson, 6 weeks later, with the Steelers 4-2, and Fields giving them everything they asked of him, used his legs as a weapon, protected the football, played within himself. Fields showed he was a hard worker, diligent, focused, and a great teammate. But what was on video was a passing attack that was below the line, with that line being what was going to be necessary to navigate the final 11 opponents on their schedule, including the division games and other playoff determining matchups versus AFC teams. In Tomlin's words, some sparks and flashes. Justin has been really good at times, but not to be confused with great. It's a competitive league, and all the games are very competitive. We are trying to position ourselves to be the team, and we've got a player with talent who hadn't had an opportunity to play. I want to explore his game, and this does not have anything to do with what Justin Fields has done or has not done. We are not here to win games. We want to win, and win when it matters most, with this undaunted schedule coming up after the bye. So that was Mike Tomlin's thought on it, why he did it, and you could see why he went ahead and did it right there, as he said it all in there. It's not Justin Fields' fault. He did what he had to do. He was never named the number one starting quarterback, and Mike Tomlin is Mike Tomlin, and now he can have in the box there. Mike Tomlin has a new formula. The formula with Justin Fields was run the ball, play defense, protect the ball. And Justin Fields did all that, got them 4 wins out of 6 games. And now Russell Wilson comes in. And as you could see Sunday night, Russell Wilson could throw the ball deep down the field. As you could see, he got our star wide receiver finally involved in things. And that was George Pickens, who had a monster game and even caused some PI penalties, pass interference penalties, on Justin Fields' long throwing. But the game did not start that way. So let's get into the game versus the Jets. The game time versus the Jets. The Jets won the toss and deferred it to the Steelers. So they wanted to get a look right at Justin Fields right off the bat. The Steelers were honoring their 50th anniversary team winning Super Bowl IX with the, if you saw the game, they had those uniforms that they wore back for Super Bowl IX, the blocked numbers with the gray face masks. They look pretty cool. So I don't know if you noticed that, but that was part of the game. So the game time came versus the Jets. Like I said, Jets won the toss. They deferred. They wanted to see what Justin Fields had. I'm sorry, Russell Wilson. I'm so confused who the quarterback is. Wilson right on the field, and Justin Fields was on the bench with his helmet on. He had it on. The 66,956 fans, they was starting to grumble after 3 and outs in 3 of their first 4 possessions. Wilson was 2 of 9 with 19 yards throwing ground balls. It was like watching Mark Malone back in the days. I don't know if you Steelers fans know who he was back in the days. He used to throw a lot of ground balls. That was my thought while I was watching Russell Wilson with the first part of the game. First of all, Wilson was 2 of 8, 19 yards. The Steelers were trailing 15-6 before the game shifts, before halftime. And the star of this game was Beanie Bishop. Now, all you guys out there know about Beanie Bishop from prior shows with my son before we got into the season. He gave you the lowdown on Beanie Bishop, and Beanie Bishop was going to be his surprise player of the year, and his first show-up of the year came this week. So Beanie Bishop, the star of the game before half, picked off a pass from Aaron Rodgers with a sick catch. Wilson came on the field, ran the hurry-up offense, and completes it with a TD pass perfectly placed to George Pickens with a one-on-one chance with the cornerback. Pickens wins that one-on-one play, and Wilson puts the ball perfectly, and it's now 15-13 Jets at halftime. Wilson now, after that drive, finished the half 8 of 17 with 145 yards, and the TD that they had, the TD that came was perfect for Russell Wilson because it was in a hurry-up offense. It got him going, and perfect place with the Pickens again. And let's start the Let Russ Cook rally for the second half. Mike Tomlin's new formula, let Russ cook. So now we're at halftime, but I just want to mention you could see the difference now in Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was back to his old way, the way he used to play when he played for Seattle. He was winning all those games where he won a Super Bowl. You could actually see the Russell Wilson and the difference between the two quarterbacks. Russell Wilson's got a nice touch on a deep ball, something the Steelers didn't have with Justin Fields. He had problems with it, and you didn't see the running of the quarterback with Russell Wilson because he's not as athletic now as Justin Fields is with the running of the ball. So you could see you could see the quarterback comparison and what Mike Tomlin is basically talking about now. But don't forget, he did start off. He did have 3 of his 4 first possessions where he didn't look good at all. But let's see. We'll get into the second half now. So the second half, Wilson was everything is advertised to be. I honestly was impressed. I must say I was impressed because I didn't think he was going to play this good, this fast. Russell Wilson was 8 of 12 for 119 yards in the second half, threw a touchdown to another wide receiver that didn't get any balls when any catches or passes thrown to him when Justin Fields was in the game. That was Van Jefferson. He caught a TD pass, and Russell Wilson had a TD run, which I'm calling the pit push. Like Philadelphia Eagles do that push where they go for the yards. We had a pit push, that type of play in this game for a TD for Russell Wilson. So the Steelers scored on each of their 4 possessions in the second half. Really 5 possessions, counting the touchdown pass before halftime. So that was 5 possessions in a row that the Steelers had scored points. This is something we haven't seen in a very long time. They had a field goal with 4 touchdowns, 31 straight points, and they wound up winning the game, as I mentioned, 37-15. But a key drive for Russell Wilson and the Steelers with 7:53 left. He engineered a 13-play, 75-yard drive, which ended with 26 seconds remaining. And the 37-15 score, Najee Harris scored on a TD run. Wilson, a veteran, of course, Super Bowl winning quarterback, just showed off and made sure to run the play clock down to 5 seconds before every snap. So he was basically in kill the game mode with 7:53 left, which is kind of weird because this is his first game, and Tomlin had all this confidence in him to do this, and he was actually doing it. Like I said, I was truly impressed. Tick, tick, tick as the clock was ticking down. One pass on the drive, a beautiful striking pass to a streaking Calvin Olsen for 36 yards, kept the clock going, tick, tick, tick. 2 third downs that were not converted were converted on 4th downs, tick, tick, tick. Your operating field general now was Russell Wilson, and he was cooking. Milking the clock, converting scoring drives, keeping Aaron Rodgers, a future gold jacket wearer, of course, on the sideline. When in the game, now Aaron Rodgers, when in the game, had 6 straight drives amounting to 0 points, 2 interceptions, and a blocked field goal. We're going to get into the blocked field goal in a minute. From the defense and special teams, the defense allowed no points in the second half, constant pressure on Rodgers, and just plain getting in his face. His quick release became quicker as the D-line got close a number of times, totaling only 1 sack, and it wasn't by T.J. Watt. It was Larry Ogunjobi who had the sack. They did a great job on T.J. Watt, the Jets. 3 batted balls, which one was by T.J. Watt, and he batted it right back in Rodgers' face and actually grabbed him and threw him down, but then picked him right up in sportsmanship gesture, I guess, in T.J. Watt's eyes. The defense now, since giving up 14 fourth quarter points to Dallas when they lost, and on Sunday night 3 weeks ago, have given up a late non-game winning a late non-game TD to the Vegas Raiders last week, and that's 9 non-touchdown drives in my book in the past 2 games in the second half. The defense blocked punt, blocked field goal, 3 takeaways, forced the opponent to turn the ball over on downs twice. And then this stat showed up. Since 2023, the Steelers have yielded 95 points in the fourth quarter or less, and 4 per game. That's the fewest amount ever in the NFL. So the defense is really on it. This I found. I took this out of an article. Tomlin raised some eyebrows earlier in the week when he opted to turn to Wilson over Fields, who racked up 10 touchdowns, 5 passing, 5 rushing, against just 1 turnover and 6 starts. Tomlin's reasoning was simple. The Steelers had been good, but not to be confused with great, which I mentioned at the beginning. Asked afterward, after the game in his press conference, how challenging it was giving the starting job to Wilson in the face of Fields' play, Tomlin smiled and said, "That's why I'm well compensated, the NFL's longest tenured coach," before walking away. I tell you, Mike Tomlin he's a cocky coach. He doesn't care what us fans think. He cares what we want. We want wins. We want to win a title. We want to win a Super Bowl. He wants that too. But all that stuff in between, he does not care. He does not care. You think he cared about my rant 2 weeks ago? He didn't care about that. But things have turned since. 37 points, consecutive weeks, first time since early in the 2020 season. And, of course, Ben Roethlisberger was at quarterback then. Beanie Bishop, 2 TDs with incredible catches, were turned into game-turning scores. Chris Boswell, 3 field goals, has only missed 1 in 19 attempts this year. And here's Russell Wilson's stats for the game: 16-29, 264 yards, 2 TDs, 1 TD rush. Actually, that was the Pitt push. And check this out. This was the highest passing rating ever of a Steelers first-time quarterback, first time starting as a quarterback. And his 260 yards also was the most ever by a first-time starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just an amazing game. Just an amazing game by Russell Wilson. They had 5 plays of 30-plus yards. 4 of them were passes. 1 was a rush. And that was the first time since 2015 versus the San Francisco 49ers. So he let Russ cook. He looked like an all-star coach, great coach that he is. You guys know how I feel about Mike Tomlin. Steelers are never going to fire him. And believe me, if they do, what comes in after Mike Tomlin, we're going to be screaming for him back. And Mike Tomlin will be scooped up like you wouldn't believe once he is not the coach of the Steelers anymore. So I took a little longer on the Steelers there because I wanted to get all that in there. So that's it for the Steelers. They play the Giants next week, and yours truly will be in attendance at that game with the family. As I mentioned last week, we're taking a trip to Pittsburgh to watch the Steelers play the Giants, and I'll be there live. I hope to have some good stuff for you guys from the game, and we'll see what happens there with playing the Giants. Let's get to the chat real quick before I take a quick break. Raymond Mann, have a great show. Danny Mann, Yinzer report. Tough game for me Sunday. Yes, tough game for Jet fans. Steelers wiped the floor with the Jets. And Danny Mann again, do not expect that performance from Russ. We'll see what the future holds. Can't agree more with that comment, Danny. Me as well. Oh, and Mary Shea just popped in. Hi again, Ralph. Enjoy your show. Thank you, Mary. Thanks for joining. Hope all is well. All right, so let's take a quick break. When I get back, I'm going to go quick through the Penguins and the college football, and then I got that piece of memorabilia from Paul Skeens that I won in the raffle. I finally received it. So this is the Yinzer report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you with the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
All right, welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm Ralph Calise, your host. I had a lot of stuff to get into. I had a little problem at the start there with going live. And let's get into quickly, before we get into the Penguins and the college football, the list has come out for the nominees for the Hall of Fame for next year. So there was 167 total players. 16 players are in their first year of eligibility. There was 94 offensive players, 56 defensive players, and here are your Steelers that were nominated. Hines Ward, of course. Again, Gary Anderson, a kicker from the old days. Linebacker James Farrier. Defensive tackle Casey Hampton. Linebacker James Harrison. Linebacker Mike Vrabel, who started with the Steelers, later went to the Patriots, won Super Bowls, and just was released as the Titans head coach. I believe he's a defensive coach for somebody right now. Fullback John Kuhn and defensive back Alan Rawson. Anderson was the Steelers' all-time leading scorer with 1,343 points. 13 years in Pittsburgh, 4-time Pro Bowl. That's a kicker, and is a member of the NFL All-Decade Team 2 separate times after playing 20 years. Total list of modern era non-era they'll be reduced to 25 semifinalists in November. Sorry about that. So I don't know. You know me. I did that thing on Hines Ward during camp where I wrote out that 3-page notebook thing for him to get into the Hall of Fame at 1:00 in the morning while I was away with my son and my friend in Latrobe. And let's hope he gets in, guys. Let's hope he gets in because can you imagine just seeing a bust of Hines Ward in the Hall of Fame with that smile on his face? I really need to see that. I really need to see that. He's one of my favorite players. To me, he's an icon in Pittsburgh, and I really want to see him get into the Hall of Fame for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So good luck to Hines Ward. And that was the list. Like I said, there's 167. They got to get that list down. If you go on NFL.com and see the list of players, there are really some good players on the list. So I don't know. Hines Ward might have a problem getting in. Here's the list. Some of the wide receivers: Anquan Bolden, Donald Driver, Antonio Freeman, Irving Fryer, Torrey Holt, Joe Horn, Chad Johnson, Brandon Marshall, Derek Mason, Herman Moore, Mushi Muhammad, Jordy Nelson, Andre Rison, Jimmy Smith, Rod Smith, Steve Smith Sr., Demetrius Thomas, there's Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne, Wes Welker, and Roddy White. So there are some good players on there. But if I go through all of those, I'm sure I can find a lot of them that Hines Ward is better than. All right. So the college football scene was quiet this week. West Virginia was the only team that played, and they came up and they wound up losing to Kansas State. They're now 3-4 on the season, 2-2 in the Big 12. They lost at home again. This is the third game at home, and they fell to a ranked opponent for the 9th consecutive time. Quarterback Derek Kuhn threw 2 interceptions that led to TDs for the second straight week. So that's twice he's thrown for two interceptions, and they've both been scored upon in points. So that's actually four interceptions, 4 touchdowns for the opponents. West Virginia was totally outplayed for the game. They lost Jaheim White, offensive lineman Wyatt Millam, for the second half. Neil Brown said after the game he believed 4 players total sustained head injuries, but didn't link it to anyone specific. These injuries definitely slowed down the quarterback Garrett Green, who is the Big 12 leader in rushing at quarterback, rushing yards. He did have 89 yards on the ground, but usually gets over 100 every game, thus putting him in passing situations that K-State took advantage with the 2 interceptions. Neil Brown was also said to in the locker room. The locker room is beat up, probably the most injuries that he can remember. West Virginia had 63 total yards in the second half. So West Virginia, like I said at the beginning, they're fading pretty fast, and there's a couple of items out there where they're calling for Neil Brown to be fired. But I didn't see anything on that as far as it being anywhere close. It's just media stuff that's been thrown out there. They are 34-33 under Neil Brown in his 6th year, and they are on pace to be the worst 6-year stretch under one coach since 1960 and 1965. That's why you're hearing all the reports of people saying he's going to be fired. Their next game will be at Arizona Saturday, and getting back to the other Pittsburgh college teams, Pitt will be home versus Syracuse Thursday in an ACC matchup that's going to be great. What's the over-under on the total yards for the both quarterbacks? You can only imagine. And Penn State is at the Wisconsin Badgers at 7:30. So that's the college scene coming up this weekend, and we'll monitor those games before we go out to Pittsburgh to watch the Steelers play the Giants Monday night. All right, let's get into the hockey quick. As the Pittsburgh Penguins, they have had 3 games the past week before we went off the air, and they went on a road trip in Canada, Western Canada, before they left Pittsburgh. They played the Buffalo Sabres last Tuesday, and of course it was at the PBG Paints Arena. They won the game 6-5 in overtime. It was a real exciting game. Their record was 3-2 after that game. They had 6 points. Joel Blomqvist was in net. Jarry was pulled after 3 goals on 5 shots. That's terrible. Sidney Crosby scores a power play winning overtime goal as the Penguins rallied to beat the Buffalo Sabres 6-5. Another milestone hockey game for our Penguin stars, our Penguin leaders, and our future Hall of Famers. Malkin became the 48th NHL player in NHL history to score 500 career goals. And the goal he scored, he was sitting on his pants when he scored it. It was an amazing goal. Crosby becomes the 10th player in NHL history to reach 1,600 points, regular season points, in a career. He becomes the fifth fastest player to do so, behind Gretzky, Lemieux, Marcel Dion, and Jaromir Jagr. Notice there's 2 other Penguins on that list. I'll describe the goal that Malkin had. Malkin's 500 goal, just a spectacular one. Crosby was behind the net. He sent a between the legs pass in front to Malcolm, who was sitting on the ice when he scored his goal. Crosby reached his milestone when he recorded the secondary assist on a Brian Russ power play goal at 11:01 of the first period. Crosby had 1 goal, 2 assists. Malkin had 1 goal, 3 assists. The next game again was at PBG Paints Arena, and they lost to the Hurricanes 4-1. Joel Blomqvist was in net, making 39 saves, but he allowed 4 goals, and they were overmatched by the Hurricanes in that game. Drew O'Connor scored the only goal. Penguins are now 3-3 on the season, and here's where they went on the road trip to Canada. Their first game was in Winnipeg, and they lost 6-3. Lars Eller had 2 goals. Kevin Hayes had 1 goal. And Alex Nedeljkovic, the goalie from last year, who had a great season when he came up, had his first start of the season of the 2024-2025 season after being called up from a conditioning stint in the AHL. Tristan Jarry was a healthy scratch and now makes it seem like there is a goalie problem in Pittsburgh and hockey land. And just before I came on, they announced the goalie for tonight's game. I believe it's Blomqvist. And again, Tristan Jarry is a healthy scratch. So keep an eye on that, Pittsburgh Penguin fans. That's going to be a problem. We might be seeing the end of Tristan Jarry in a Penguin uniform. And like I said, they're on this road trip now in Western Canada, and it continues tonight versus the Flames, who are 4-0. So they got another tough game on their hands. The Penguins are the second team in NHL history to have 3 500-goal scorers. That's Lemieux, Crosby, and Malkin. The other team was the Montreal Canadiens with Guy Lafleur, Michel Richard, and Juan Beauvillier. So Crosby, Malkin, Letang, they're also playing their 19th season together as Penguins in Pittsburgh. I found that pretty interesting. So that was my quick update on the football and the Penguins. And I did the Hall of Fame for the Steelers. Let's get back to the chat. And Jen B. He's a consultant with the Browns. Yes. I believe she's talking about Mike Vrabel. And she said also, hope you're having a great show. Yes, I am, Jen B. And thank you for that update with Mike Vrabel with the Browns. Marcus Losgreat, salute, sir. Thank you for joining in. And always Arizona sports. Ralph, hope you're having a good show. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. I am. I believe I am. I had that little problem at the beginning, but I picked it up after that. All right, so let's take another quick break. And once I get back, I have that piece of memorabilia that I won in that raffle from the Pittsburgh Pirates memorabilia place over there in Pittsburgh. Wait till you see this. Crypto Runners is in the chat. I hope Pittsburgh gets Cup so y'all can trade us Pickens. Yes, he brings up a good point. Before I go to break, there is reports out there that Cooper Kupp is on the trading block, but he Steelers have mentioned as one of the teams. But let's not go through this again because we went through this first with Brandon Ayuk. Remember, we had him in Pittsburgh. They had pictures, put stuff out there on social media. He was at an airport in Pittsburgh. Then Devontae Adams, we were getting Devontae Adams, and that even came close. And now Cooper Kupp is on the trading block, and he is out there. Will the Steelers try for him? I mean, they could definitely use another wide receiver because the rookie Roman Wilson has not been in good faith with the Steelers, and he's not been in good shape ever since he got hurt in training camp. As far as trading Pickens, I don't see that. I don't see that. He's like a son to Mike Tomlin, even though he's a little crazy, a little loco up there at times. Mike Tomlin has, believe me, Mike Tomlin has that guy where he needs to have him, and he's a big part of the Steelers offense, especially now that you could see how he played with Russell Wilson, somebody that could throw the ball to him. He also says Ayuk was never leaving the 49ers. I know. That guy pulled a fast one over everybody. He pulled a fast over anyway. Look where it got him. I think he's out for the rest of the season. So, hey, great move by Steeler management. They didn't get him. And in a way, I'm glad they didn't get him. So now he's got to deal with an injury, and he'll have to get himself back in shape. Thanks for joining in. I hope you heard from the franchise. I hope he's okay. Give him my regards. All right, so let's take that quick break. This is the Yinzer Report, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am Ralph Calise. I will be right back. Let me cue up some of my fellow people here, and here we go.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up? It's your man Bishop, the voice of This Is KC Sports, the show where we go over the Chiefs, the Royals, KC Current, Sporting KC, MU, and oh yeah, if we got time, we'll even throw in some of that KU stuff for my people on the 913 South. Come and hang out with us every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back. Once again, this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I, once again, am Ralph Calise. And if you guys ever want to send out some comments for my show to me or catch up with me or ask me a question, I rarely don't show my tag on the show. I don't know why, because I get so into it and I forget to do it. But that is my tag on X Twitter. Calise R786. And as I've mentioned in the past, the 786, if you didn't know, was for the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, number 7, and Hines Ward, number 86. Two, of course, of my top 3 favorite ever Steeler players. So, yeah, just throw me some comments out there if you'd like. If you like the background, whatever, if you think whatever I'm saying is not right, or just you can counteract with me at that tag right there. And also, my other tag is for the show, and it's at Yinzer Report _IE. You could also send stuff out there about the show, about myself. You know, sometimes I do the memorabilia like I'm going to do now. And, yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun. I love doing this, guys. You guys know that. I tell everybody that watches this and watches me, and I just love doing it. It's an hour of my life and my time where I have fun with myself. I'm a big sports fanatic, especially Pittsburgh, and I just love putting myself out there for IE Sports Radio and our head honcho, Larry B. I thank him the most for giving me the opportunity to do this. He's a great guy, and I really hope everything works out with this radio station for him, because he has big goals in mind, and they're actually coming to fruition. And Larry B., I'm part of your team, and I'll be there with you through it all, pal. All right. So let's talk a little baseball, even though the Pirates aren't in the World Series, as the World Series now is coming up. It's going to be the LA Dodgers versus the New York Yankees. The first game will be Friday. And I actually had a meetup baseball game with Ricky K from New York Sports, State of Mind. We were out at Citi Field Friday night. We took in Game 5 versus Mets versus Dodgers, and man, did we have a time! Oh man, I mean, you would think the way me and Ricky were palling around, we were brothers. I don't think I've ever hugged a guy so much in my life. I mean, the Mets were putting runs on the board. They were hitting home runs. Nobody was sitting down. It was great. And my man, I give my man a lot of credit. He scored the whole game standing up. You know, when you score the baseball game in a scorebook, my man Ricky, he scored the whole game. Maybe he could take a picture of it one day and put it out there for you guys to see it. It was great. So Ricky is a great guy. He's got a great show here on IE Sports Radio. Check him out. He's on Mondays at noon. So, all right, so getting back to this piece of memorabilia that I have here for you guys. I want to say it was maybe like a week after the All-Star game. There was a promotion out there in Pittsburgh. You had to do it online or something, and you would put your name in and write a little something about why you were a Pirates fan and something like that. And it was involved with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm sorry, I have to go back and look for you guys. I forget the website or where I put my name in and my thoughts and entered it. But I actually won. There was 5 prizes given out, and I won the second prize. And the second prize was an autograph of Paul Skeens, the Pirates, of course, rookie stud pitcher who took Pittsburgh by storm this summer. And I received it this past week. Actually, I got it the next day, right after last week's show. And I know it's going to be hard to show you here on the StreamYard, but it is it's actually framed. It's a framed baseball with his signature. And you guys know how I do my memorabilia. I always get stuff graded. It came graded. His autograph came graded by Beckett. Now, Beckett is one of the biggest places out there that grades signatures and authenticates things. So the Beckett grading on it for his autograph was a 9. Now, 10 is the highest you can go. So this is a damn good signature for winning a raffle, or like I said, putting thoughts in a thing. But here it is. I'll try to get it as best as you can see it. there's the autograph. I mean, I know there's glare and everything, but you could see now this is a Major League Baseball, okay? And I'm going to show you why it's a Major League Baseball in a second. That is Paul Skeens' autograph. See it right there? Let me try to move it over this way. Going the wrong way. There you go. Oh, there you go. That's a good picture. There you go. That's his autograph. It's encased. As you can see, it's encased. And the grade, you see the grade over here? It says 9. It's hard to show here. There we go. Now, on the back of the ball, like I was saying, I'll turn it this way to be easier. There is the hologram from Major League Baseball stating that this is a Major League Baseball, Rawlings. So this is a baseball they didn't use this one, but it's a baseball that they use in Major League games. And it says there Major League Baseball on it, Rawlings, and then it has the commissioner's name underneath, and it has the MLB logo. And like I said, this was sent to me by winning the raffle, and there it is one more time. There's the signature. So this goes in the trophy case. This is a special piece of memorabilia for me, and as far as memorabilia goes, anytime a player wins a championship or any type of an award or something like that, the value of their autograph goes up. So I don't know if you guys want to go look online and see how much a Paul Skeens baseball is worth these days. It's going to be worth a lot more if he wins the Rookie of the Year. So let's go. Hopefully MLB does the right thing. They vote him in as the Rookie of the Year. And let me just quickly check the last 3 comments before I hit the music and go. And my boy Bishop says, that's awesome. My buddy Ray Man, all right, nice ball. And Mary Shea, wow, that is really, yes, it is an awesome piece. It is an awesome piece. Oh. This has been the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Stay tuned for the Show of the Land with Jen B, who was in the chat. She has her show next with the Cleveland Sports. And we're heading out to Pittsburgh next week. I'm going to try to see if I could do my show maybe on a Wednesday next week, because I'll be traveling back from Pittsburgh Tuesday. I'm taking in the game Monday night, Steelers versus Giants at Acrisure Stadium, and I'll be traveling back Tuesday. So I'll get in touch with the people to be at IE Sports Radio to see if I can have my show for Wednesday. Maybe mid-afternoon, maybe 3, 4 o'clock if nobody else is on. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your sports night, and enjoy life. Take care, guys.